Hey yo, I'm ready to dig into my hating bag. I normally like to talk about things I like, but I'm ready to hate. Hate. I hate the show Peacemaker. But let me explain. I don't dislike this show. I don't like it or dislike it. When I watched it, I'm kind of just on the fence for it. It was, I didn't overly like it. I didn't overly hate it. Stuff like that. It just was what it was. Had cool points, had bad points. It was just what it was for me. But I hate this show for other reasons than the show itself. Now, I'm not a who asked for this type of person, but who asked for this. And I hate saying that because I hate that sometimes obscure characters who are actually really dope don't get shine because they're obscure and, they're not really that popular. Peacemaker is not a character I feel bad about. Peacemaker pretty much is ain't shit Captain America in a way. And to be honest, when they gave James Gunn basically the key to DC, I think it's very weird that Peacemaker was the first show that he decided he wanted to do. Like, out of all the characters, Peacemaker? And I just think it's weird that out of many different, Suicide Squad characters that we could have picked to be in a Suicide Squad movie, or a Suicide Squad character that we picked to have a spin-off, I think it's really weird that Peacemaker is the one that we went with. And I just think it's weird that Peacemaker has a lot to do with the DC universe. Like, his show will become essential to knowing what's going on with the DC universe. Like, that's weird. Like, even if you like this show, that's weird. Because, bro, let's be honest, he barely be in the comics, bro. In the last, before Peacemaker came into the Suicide Squad, in like the 10 years, 15 years before that, like, he barely be in comics like that. He just basically making cameos here and there. And very seldom here and there. But let's get to another real point of why I'm mad at Peacemaker. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm black. I'll explain. Bro, for so long, we've been told that some of our favorite black characters don't get content, don't get stuff because popularity. People don't put their money behind that character. People don't know that character. What is this? He not popular. He not well known. And the crazy thing is, they had planned for Peacemaker's show before the Suicide Squad movie even came out. They weren't even waiting for fan reaction for Peacemaker. They were already diving into Peacemaker because James Gunn decided he wanted to do Peacemaker. Also, to correct myself from earlier in the video, I had said, James Gunn, the first thing he wanted to do was Peacemaker, but the first thing he did was the Suicide Squad, which didn't lead to Peacemaker. So I'm correcting myself. But yeah, he's not really popular like that. Like, you don't really see him in comics, so he's obviously not that popular to where you're putting him in comics like that. Like, Peacemaker has a new comic book out right now that is not really selling like that, or people even talking about. He wasn't even no animated joint. But somehow Peacemaker just got a show before he even actually appeared in the DC universe. But we have, our black characters gotta be popular. They gotta be popping, They gotta have money behind them. They gotta have people behind them for them to get, content. That's what they be telling us. Like, for more of an example of a better character they could have easily just used, Bronze Tiger easily could have played that role of Peacemaker and then easily gone into his own show. Bronze Tiger was in the Suicide Squad Hell to Pay animated joint, and when he was in it, the people that watched that joint, everybody was raving about how fire Bronze Tiger was. Bronze was also in that Batman animated movie Soul of the Dragon, and people loved him in that joint too. And he's made way more appearances in comics than Peacemaker. Now, you can fact check me on that. I could be wrong about that. But I've seen him in way more comics than Peacemaker, especially in recent years. And his story is just better and so much more connected to a lot of things in the DC universe that we could have used him for, and we could have added in characters to his show. My man's been in the League of Assassins. He trained with Richard Dragon and also is on par with people like Lady Shiva, Batman, and Richard Dragon, some of the greatest fighters in the DC universe. And now in comics, he has a son with Lady Shiva, who is also Cassandra Cain's half-brother. So, you feel me? Like, his son is Cassandra Cain's half-brother. So, like, there's more story. This man literally has a big connection to the DC universe that we could have used him for, but somehow Peacemaker just got that nod. Which is also weird to me that Bronze Tiger wasn't used when he was literally in a Suicide Squad movie where he was basically leading the Suicide Squad. And he was helping with the Suicide Squad in Hell to Pay. And also forgot to mention he was in Arrow, a TV show. But yeah, it's just, the whole Peacemaker thing is very weird because, like, most people had no clue. Comic book fans have no clue who Peacemaker is. You feel me? But somehow we just randomly got Peacemaker, and now we're ready to get a Peacemaker Season 2 that basically has implications on the rest of the DC cinematic, live act, whatever you want to call it, universe. And again, I'm not really hating on the show itself. I'm kind of hating on everything around the show. Like, I'm not really mad at the show. Like I said, I didn't like it or dislike it, but the show is what it is. I have no real gripes or grips with the show at all. It's really just everything surrounding and just the fact that it just seems very weird. Like, speaking to my comic book fans, let's say 10 years ago, I told you that there's going to be a DC universe, connected universe, live action cartoons and movies. It's going to be connected now. And then I told you the jumping point for that universe would be Peacemaker. Alright? And then Peacemaker, you will have to watch his show to know what's going forward in the DC universe. His show will have a lot of implications on what's happening in the DC universe moving forward. Peacemaker. Like, really, what would y'all say? Tell me in the comments what y'all would say if I told you Peacemaker 10 years ago. Peacemaker would be the jumping point to a cinematic DC connected universe. You would be like, who the hell is Peacemaker? But that's me and my hating bag. This show kind of just is weird to me, and I think it's really weird that we're not talking about how this is just kind of weird. And I get that James Gunn takes obscure characters and kind of puts them into popularity, which is dope. But I also have something to say to that. He can do that because y'all don't know who these characters are. He, like Guardians of the Galaxy, he can do whatever he wants with these characters, and he won't get no backlash at all because y'all not going to say nothing about comic book because y'all don't know nothing about these characters.